right. How about that super sweet intro? Let's give it up for my buddy Tim Klee. He made that for me. I got a little outro thing that he did too. I'm really loving the music, man. Again, thanks a lot. It really means a lot to me that you were able to hook it up. Just did a little play here and there, and he was just kind of messing around with the guitar and thought it'd be a good idea to help make me a little jingle. So I'm really digging it. Again, thanks a lot, Tim. Let's talk NFL draft and your Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, so we're getting it. Now, I know we only had 6 picks, didn't really do any trading. I was kind of mind blown away. I thought we were going to move around and do some things. Didn't really happen. First and foremost, I'm going to admit I was wrong about us going late round wide receiver. Blew that one up. Oops. Either way, we all claim to be analysts and or experts, and I play a ton of fantasy football, and I think even on my Twitter profile it says something about being a fantasy football expert, whatever that means. But yeah, so I just really enjoy football. I like playing fantasy football. I got a lot of it going on, so I was kind of hoping Pittsburgh would hold off, mostly I guess for maybe my own selfish reasons for fantasy football, and that I have some Pittsburgh wide receivers and I didn't want them messing with my life. Either way, what happens? Round two, pick 49. Your Steelers pick up Chase Claypool, wide receiver out of Notre Dame. Now, he was a senior when he came out. A lot of guys come out of college and they're juniors, it seems like lately. They're kind of jumping on the NFL draft train, trying to make that money. Chase stayed for his full time at Notre Dame. Last year, he had 66 receptions for 1,037 yards and 13 touchdowns. Guy was a touchdown machine in college. Now, his stats kind of are a little deceiving. If you don't have good quarterback play, it's hard to be a great wide receiver. Here's the deal, guys. He is a great wide receiver. He's a steal in round two at pick 49. The combine, he ran a 4.4240. A 4.4240. The only person that's as tall as him, which by the way is 6'4", and the guy weighs, what's he weigh? 238 pounds. That's his metrics from the combine. Dude, a 4.42. The only person to run faster than a 4.45 since like 2003 or 4 or something has been Calvin Johnson at that height anyway. He's very comparable in his metrics to Megatron. Hopefully, that's our dude. Now you got this guy being the most physical receiver I think that I saw on tape for any of the players that were at the combine, East West Shrine game, Reese's Senior Bowl. This is the guy. And I wasn't really a Chase Claypool believer until I really dug a little bit, watched some more tape on him, watched some of his workouts and everything. This guy is motivated. He is ready to go play football. He's big. He's physical. He's got ginormous hands, 9 7/8. Let's just call it 10-inch hands. 126-inch broad jump. That guy's getting out there. And like I said, 6'4", 238 pounds, has a 40.5-inch vertical. The man can get up. And boy, is he ever tough. Also, down the field, focus. When he gets out there, runs his route, he knows exactly where his break is. He turns his head. He looks at the quarterback, says, hit me with the ball. Hit me with the ball, hit me with the ball, hit me with the ball. When he's running down the field on the sideline, he can look over his shoulder. Over the shoulder catches are incredible from this man. The reason they're incredible, his hands. His hands are just nice and soft and big and supple. And he's got these wonderful hippity hops. He goes up there at 40.5 inches. Like I said, on that vertical, I think in the game, he's been a little bit higher than that. It looks on tape like he plays a little faster than a 4.4240 as well. So I don't know. He gets up there, gets the ball, gets the job done. I'm pretty pumped about him being on Pittsburgh. It looks like our wide receiving core is really solid. I know last week we talked about that Penn State wide receiver getting picked up, and I think he's going to be a solid option in there too. It looks like we're going to be stacked in the locker room on the practice squad, and we're just going to look really, really good this year at wide receiver. Now the only thing we need is Big Ben. He just got to stay healthy. One big thing I forgot to mention real quick about Chase Claypool that I really, really liked is that, well, one, he can play special teams too, and he likes to. Two, the biggest thing I noticed about him is he moves the ball after he catches it to the outside hand or outside arm. And what that means is if he's running down the sideline, he makes sure the ball's in the arm that's on the sideline. That way, if he gets hit, whatever, if he winds up losing the ball, that's kind of something you got to teach into players, and he just seems to do it naturally every time he grabs the ball. So he catches the ball, he puts it in the correct arm, and he protects it. So I really, really was impressed with his tape in that aspect. Let's move on to our round 3 pick 102 at Alex Highsmith. Holy motor. I don't know if you guys have watched any tape or seen any film on this guy, any of his highlight reels, whatever. Get on YouTube, watch it. This guy, linebacker out of Charlotte, he was a college defensive end. I think he was drafted as a linebacker. He can play either. He kind of shifts around. Pittsburgh's looking to do that with some players. Like I said, motor, motor, motor. This guy wants to go tackle people in the backfield, wants to hit the quarterback, loves it. I think it's kind of strange that you go and you see this small school guy. Was it CBS? I believe it was CBS that looked. I was reading their draft review on Pittsburgh, and it said something about that pick being like a C grade. I honestly think that he may just be undervalued, and a lot of that's because he did play for a small school at Charlotte. So they talk about competition, and if you're not playing against good competition, you need to have great numbers. He had amazing numbers in college. So with that being said, I think he's going to be a huge, huge help in the defensive area of Pittsburgh's game. This guy was 6'3", 248 pounds, big man running. He ran a 4.7 40, which is pretty good for a linebacker slash defensive end. So he can definitely move. And earlier we talked about Chase Claypool having a 126-inch broad jump. Like that's pretty impressive. That guy's 6'4" and 238 pounds. This guy's 6'3", 248. So he's an inch shorter, weighs 10 pounds more, 125-inch broad jump, guys. 125. He's got the moves. A lot of people are saying he's going to get out there and be able to spell TJ Watt and Bud Dupree. I think you're going to see him on the field with them. Round 4, pick 124 from Pittsburgh. We drafted a running back. I really thought we were going to wait a little longer in the draft. Maybe Pittsburgh was like, you know what, let's just get him. I don't necessarily know that we needed it with James Conner and Jalen Samuels and Benny Snell Jr. So we already had 3 running backs, so we can just kind of plug and play. We go out there in round 4 and draft another one. Maybe they just really wanted him, and that's Anthony McFarland Jr. out of Maryland. This guy's 5'8", 208 pounds. Now, a 5'8" guy at 208 running a 4.44 40-yard dash. That's pretty quick. Honestly, he looks faster on film than a 4.44. That it's at least it's not 6.66. Like I said, faster on film. It's weird when you watch him make a cut. He just has this breakaway gear, and it's just like he looks at you and makes you think he's going somewhere, shifts his hip, plants a foot, and he's off to the races. He's got this really, really strange breakaway speed that I haven't seen out of a lot of the players, a lot of the running backs that are coming out. So it's kind of intriguing. He wasn't one of the top running back prospects, but I feel like Pittsburgh really, really may have done themselves a favor. Low key to me on some of the film, he's got really good hands. He likes to grab the ball out of the air, can kind of snatch it up. He didn't have great quarterback play. Like I said, low key kind of reminds me of Alvin Kamara's playing style. One thing that's a little bit different about him, though, is that his legs look a little stronger than Kamara's. Kamara's real shifty, and he's kind of lean in the lower extremities there. But this guy, Anthony McFarland, he's got really strong legs, so he's able to finish a run. I saw a couple plays where he's driving defenders, got like 4 or 5 guys hanging on him, and he's pushing them into the end zone still. So he's really, really strong. Again, like I said, Pittsburgh's running back room being kind of full right now. We'll see how he lands, where he winds up, if he's going to come out there and spell anybody, or if he's just kind of going to hang out. James Conner is in his last year of his contract. So with that being said, we don't know what Pittsburgh's going to do at running back. And I think they've already kind of proven they don't necessarily want to pay a running back a ton of money. And when you have a depth like we do in the running back aspect, that having the 3 already, we draft another one and maybe they can develop him into something else. And I really think that we're maintaining well. I just don't know that we needed to go out in round 4 to do it. Another round 4 pick at 135 was Kevin Dotson, right guard out of Louisiana Lafayette. This guy is 6'4", 321 pounds, people. 321. That's a monster. That is a gigantic human. The advantage to being a gigantic human, though, is that you can make gigantic holes in the offensive line. He opens that right side up all the time. At Louisiana Lafayette, if you watch any of the film on him, you're going to see him pushing people out of the way, and it doesn't even look like he's trying. So it's almost like the defense never really had a chance when he's pushing them around. It's going to be a little bit different story in the NFL. I know Louisiana Lafayette, who do they really play? Well, in the NFL, you're playing against guys that are just as big as you and just as fast. And he was kind of quick. I saw some of the tape of him running and following a play and chasing down some running backs and stuff after a little bit of contact, sure, but he doesn't give up on the play. And that is huge. We really needed a little bit of O-line help. It looks like left guard. We got Wisniewski over there, and that's it on the depth chart. Right guard, we got David DeCastro, obviously, and then a couple other people come in to spell him a little bit. At left guard, we're really, really struggling. So don't be surprised if Kevin Dotson moves over to left guard in some way, shape, or form here. You're going to see him out there in preseason playing, I'm sure. And he looks pretty good in pass pro. I know I talked about him opening up big holes for running. He looks pretty good in pass protection, too. Round 6, pick 198. Let me take a sip of this beer here. Antoine Brooks Jr., safety out of Maryland. Pittsburgh liking them Maryland players this draft. Antoine is 5'11", 220 pounds, ran a 4.6 440. I don't think that's an accurate 40 time for him. I feel like it's a little slow. When I was watching some tape on him and some coverage, it looks like he keeps up with wide receivers really well when he's covering. He does playing safety for Maryland. You're not really covering the number one wide receiver on whatever team you're playing against. So he was very successful against a good number 2 wide receiver, though, on a lot of those teams. It is Big Ten, so he does have some competition that he's defending against. I would honestly say he's average in coverage. He did have a couple of really, really nice plays where he just kind of bodied the receiver out of the way to get an interception. What he is above average at, though, is tackling. He led Maryland in tackles. Watch this guy play. He loves to run at people full speed and hit them and try to take the ball. A ton of tackles in the backfield, ton of sacks. You get a safety blitz in there, this guy is going to get you. He's not afraid to take on bigger players. When they played against Michigan, he was out there just running their tight end over, and tight end couldn't do nothing. He was pushing a tight end back into the quarterback. I think at round 6, pick 198, this was a fantastic pickup for Pittsburgh. Again, average in coverage, above average tackler. Likely an immediate fill in special teams, though. He does like to run down the field full speed and hit people. And there's not a lot of people that are willing to do that on special teams, and he's one of them. So round 7, pick 232, Carlos Davis, defensive tackle out of Nebraska. This guy is a steal this late. At 6'2", 313 pounds, ran a 4.82 40, did 27 reps on the bench. Big guy, real strong. I know I talked a little bit about us need some defensive help. We always need some defensive help. And I'm going to touch on that probably in another episode with the undrafted free agent signings. They've pretty much been all defense except for punter and fullback. But let's finish talking about this Carlos Davis guy out of Nebraska. I really, really, like I said, think he's a steal this late. He relies on his size to get through the line. Now, him being as large as he is, it's weird because you watch him move and he looks quicker than the O-line guys out there trying to block him. He just does this little dip dive move and gets around people. He is a big boy. You watch him play. He is a big dude, but he gets the job done. Another good thing about him, doesn't give up. I really, really enjoy watching him play for Nebraska, and the film that I was watching, you know I'm a Penn State fan, so a little bit of it was painful, but that's all right. And one thing I did notice particularly about him is that his arms are really, really strong. Like that somebody tried to outrun him, run away from him. He just put his arm out there and pulled them to him. I mean, you're talking people that are 200 plus pounds trying to run by him, and he just sticks them and then you're going nowhere. So really, really good signing at round 7. Hopefully they can train him up to do what they want him to do. All right, folks. Well, I think that's really going to be about it for the post draft analysis. It's kind of quick and easy. I'm excited for the preseason. I hope training camps get going. I really want to see what a lot of these guys can do. You're gonna see. I think some of the teams are doing some virtual training type things and stuff, and hopefully Pittsburgh gets us going with their new draft selections. And all right, well, I think we're gonna call that an episode. Don't forget to rate and review, please. I am on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, and Apple. I'm going to try to get out there on a couple other platforms too. So if you're wanting to listen to the podcast, but you prefer it on another platform, I'm going to try to maybe get on Pandora or something like that. So we'll see what happens. Don't forget to hit subscribe to get the newest episodes as soon as they're available. Have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening. See you next time on the Back Row Steelers Show.